Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome into the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Friday, May 3rd, 2019. I am Dave Biddle. Very happy to be joined by Jonah Booker. JBook, let's start off with a prediction, my man. Looking at the 12-game regular season for Ohio State, how many wins do you think the Buckeyes will get in a regular season?
Right now, my prediction is 11-1 with Ohio State. I think there could be some form of a trip up along the lines. Ohio State seems to have some type of trip up with someone that they shouldn't. I think just in college football, anybody can be got. But I think this team, top to bottom, talent wise, is still the most talented football team in the Big Ten. I like Ohio State offense as far as being the most dynamic in the Big Ten, and I think the defense is going to be vastly improved. Overall, I think that Ohio State is going to out athlete a lot of teams, and I think with the talent and the depth, no one can match up to them. So my prediction is 11-1. I don't know who they would lose to, but I think some game will be a close game, a nail biter that they could stub their toe on. It's just been the way the things have gone against Ohio State these last several years. Every team treats that game like it's their Super Bowl. If it's a Purdue or a Nebraska, you never know who it's going to be. I think there's a couple hurdles in October that the team would need to battle through, but I think they can make it through. I would say watch out for Cincinnati early on because this football team is going to be getting their feet wet with the new quarterback, the new staff. Obviously, they should blow out game one, but Luke Fickell and Marcus Freeman, they're going to come into the shoe. They're going to have that football team ready to go. They're going to be playing like it's the Super Bowl. I think Ohio State will win. I think it's going to be a battle once they get into the Big Ten regular season. I look for the defense to be much more improved, which will give the offense more opportunities with the football because the defense is going to be able to get off the football field.
I'm with you. I like 11-1 as well. That's my prediction. And to be honest, if I had to pick one or the other between 10-2 and 12-0, I'd go 10-2. I really would. And that's still over the Vegas over/under is 9.5 at last check. So, but I think 11-1 is what's going to happen. But I do not see them going undefeated. I think there will be at least one slip up along the way, as you said. I want to get into your biggest concerns and what you feel best about regarding this team. We'll start with the negative. Offensively, what's your biggest concern when you look at this team, JBook?
Yeah, if you'd asked me 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, I would have told you quarterback. But I feel a whole lot better about that position group after getting the grad transfer. That's going to provide some depth there because obviously Ohio State, they want to run some quarterback zone read, and Justin Fields had already said that's going to be a major emphasis in their playbook and their game planning. And it made me a little uneasy knowing that that's going to be a heavy part of the offense when you didn't have a viable backup quarterback. If he went down, then you're talking about 11-1, 10-2 season to potentially, a 8-win season or a 9-win season hanging on by a thread. But I feel better about that position after the grad transfer came in. But my biggest concern when it comes to the offense is the running back position. I think that they have a lot of bodies behind J.K. Dobbin that haven't done anything at this level. And he can't be the one who's carrying the ball 95% of the time. Demario McCall needs to get healthy. It's either shit or get off the pot for him right now because he's losing his eligibility. I think he has the potential to be a heck of a Swiss Army knife in this offense. I know that Tony Offer is very high on Demario, but the kid cannot stay healthy. He missed pretty much all of spring football because of injuries. Hopefully, as he goes into fall camp, he's healthy. But Master Teague, they're going to need him to step up. So I think that's my biggest question mark. And you have Marcus Crowley, the freshman. I thought looked pretty good in the spring game, but he's raw. I mean, when you're running an offense under Ryan Day, you're going to have guys that can pass protect. Pass blocking is not a major strength of Demario McCall, and J.K. Dobbins cannot be on the field 100% of the time.
And defensively, what is your biggest concern when you look at this squad?
I would say on the defense, I actually feel really good about the defense considering the amount of talent that is coming back as far as starters and personnel. And I think you're going to see a major improvement when it comes to the coaching staff. If I had to pinpoint one position group, obviously I'm still going to flash the light on the linebacker core. I think Al Washington will get them playing at a high level. I know a lot of people is waiting to see how that unit actually performs under new leadership with Tough Borland being healthy. How will his game enhance because he needs to have a bounce back year? But I think the younger guys that are behind the veterans is really going to provide a major push for that unit. So just having those bodies there that they believe that's going to be able to be major contributors is going to be big because one of the problems that you saw in years past is even if a guy wasn't playing up to that high level, there was no one behind them that could really push them or rotate in when a guy was struggling. It was either feast or famine with the linebacker core. And now that they got some younger guys that they're feeling pretty good about, I think that's going to really bolster that linebacker room.
Now let's get to the positive stuff. What you feel best about when you look at this team. Let's start with the offense again. When you look at this team, what do you feel best about?
Obviously, the wide receiver unit. You got some veterans coming back. I think it's an outstanding coach position group. I think Brian Hartline is an absolute star in the making. We're very fortunate to have him in this position that he's in, and I think the development for that wide receiver group is going to continue. They have some younger guys that they're very high on. When you bring in the 5-star number one wide receiver from Texas, and he's probably going to be the fourth or fifth option in that room, you have to feel pretty good about that. And he's a major talent that I think we'll see the field right away. Could be a difference maker. And I think you have some veterans in Ben Victor and KJ Hill and Austin Mack who really want to make a name for themselves. That they need to get an outstanding year under their belt in order for them to bolster their draft status. And then you have a guy in Chris Olave who's coming back from injury. Can he carry over what he did last season into this season? And if he did, he's going to be a household name nationwide in college football. So you have to feel really good about the wide receiver position and all of the talent that's in that room being coached up by Brian Hartline.
I know I'm throwing you a softball here, but what do you feel best about defensively?
I'm going to tell you, I actually feel really good about the defensive backs.
Okay. I thought you were going to say
Yeah,
defensive line. You're throwing me a curveball. I like it. I like it.
yeah. I mean, the easy answer would have been the defensive line, but I'm actually going to say the defensive backs. I feel really good about Jeffrey Okuda. I know some NFL mock drafts and some personnel believe he's a first round corner, and you have a guy in Sean Wade who's going to be able to play inside or outside with his length. I know a lot of people they're not very high on Damon Arnett, but the fact that you have a guy who has valuable leadership experience as well as playing experience, playing a cornerback position is going to provide a lot of solid depth there. And then you have your two remaining safeties coming back, a guy who was an all Big Ten player. I think Jordan Fuller is going to be much better this year. And overall, I'm really bullish on that defensive back unit because I think Hafley is really going to put them in an opportunity to get the football. That was the thing in previous staff under Greg Schiano is those defensive backs had no idea where the ball was at. I think you're going to see this unit limit the pass interference penalties by grabbing and not being disciplined with their techniques. And I think you're going to see a lot more turnovers coming from that defensive back room.
All right, final thing. We had the Joshua Perry show earlier this week that had a lot of comments, and the crux of the show, the big question was, should college football players get paid? Obviously, Joshua played at Ohio State, brings in tons of money. You played at Ohio University, a school that I don't know. I mean, maybe they make money off the football program. I don't know. But should all college football players, Division I, FBS, should all college football players get paid, JBook?
I agree with Josh. I think they should get paid. I mean, if you look at Clemson and Dabo Swinney, he just signed a $94 million contract. That's big time money. And that's off the backs of his college football players. I was listening out here in Phoenix, I was listening to Fox Sports, and they were talking about Reggie Bush and USC. And essentially, Reggie Bush was paid $300,000. And it wasn't even from USC, it was actually from a sports agent. And essentially, the argument and the crux of it is that 300,000 that Reggie Bush received was pretty much a drop of the bucket of what USC as a whole made off that run from him and his Heisman campaign and Pete Carroll and those teams that were championship caliber programs at USC. To me, I don't think you can pay those guys while they're still enrolled in school. I think there should be some type of system that they have some type of funds waiting for them post graduation. So if a kid is able to graduate and earn their degree, money that was made can be escrowed into some type of account for those kids that once they graduate from college, they can receive that money. So I think that would be a way to entice kids to get their education, get their degree, and have a little something to look forward to start their life out in the actual real world. Obviously, you know, when you're dealing with payments, there's going to be all kinds of Title IX issues that comes up, and how can you pay the football team and not the softball team? But I think with the TV deals and the money and the revenue that Ohio State is generating from the football program, I think there should be something at the end of the rainbow for those guys.
Great stuff as always from Jonah Booker. Thank you very much, JBook. And thanks to all the listeners out there for tuning in to the show. I appreciate it. Hope everyone has a great day and a great weekend. Let's hear that Buckeye swag, best damn band in the land.